Hey, you want it? I got it. Let's talk about it. All right. Tonight's SmackDown. Oh my God, it sucked. Okay, you're telling me that a night before a major PLE on a new streaming site, ESPN, that the mess that they gave us tonight, we're supposed to spend $30 to watch what's going on tomorrow? I mean, what they gave us tonight really sucked. We only got three matches tonight for a major PLE. Okay, I gotta breathe through this because this show, I don't know what Triple H really sucks at his job, and I've been trying to hold back, for a while, just trying to give him, you know, I don't know, I don't know what I was thinking, but this show tonight really, I mean, it leads to nothing for tomorrow, nothing. I have no idea. Man, I am so pissed off right now. But anyway, let's get to it. We have Brock Lesnar coming out. Well, first of all, we had Michael Cole saying that he was going to record Brock Lesnar in the back. But Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar in the ring, and then Brock Lesnar wanted to be interviewed in the back. But as as Michael Cole goes to the back, Brock Lesnar comes out. Then Brock Lesnar picks up Michael Cole, takes him to the ring, lays him on the top rope, and then throws him into the ring. Then it looked like Brock Lesnar was going to do something to Michael Cole, and then Corey Graves goes in there to try to stop it, and then Brock Lesnar grabs him and he F5s him. And not only did he F5 him once, he F5s him twice. Then he gets into the camera and tells John Cena that he's coming after him. You know, that he's coming for blood. And I'm here to tell you, it's crazy because those people in Toledo, and I have in-laws in Toledo and stuff, but man, they were talking about one more time, one more time. Corey couldn't take it one more time. Corey's not a wrestler. I mean, he started out that way, but that's not what he does today. He's an announcer, commentator, on the program. And, you know, I'm hoping that Corey is going to be all right because those F5s were something else. And then then Brock Lesnar goes in the back and he sees Paul Heyman and he tells Paul Heyman that they should talk. And then at that time, Nick Aldis comes out and tells Paul Heyman that he has a contract signing and that he doesn't want any problems tonight. And, Paul Heyman says, who, us? We're not going to give any problems. So we'll leave it with that. And then Michael Cole, comes out. He's a little bit shaken up from what happened earlier with Brock Lesnar, and he says that Corey's in the back getting checked out by medical people, and that he'll give a report on how he's doing, but he doesn't think that John Cena is going to have what it takes to take Brock Lesnar tomorrow at to defeat Brock Lesnar tomorrow at WrestlePalooza. Oh man, that's just a loss. And then then the Miz joins Michael Cole at the commentating desk and stuff. And the Miz is so funny. I like the Miz. All right, so we get to our first match, which is Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss going against Chelsea Green and Alba Fyre for the women's tag title. It was actually a pretty decent match. Chelsea Green and Alba Fyre, they gave Charlotte and Alexa a pretty good run for their money and stuff. So, but anyway, it was a good match, and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss they win and retain the title. Then you get a backstage segment with B Fab and the Street Profits, And B Fab is telling the Street Profits, kind of get together because they're brothers and stuff like that. And whatever's going on between them, they need to get together, especially if they want to, give another try at the tag titles. And then Montez Ford, tells Angelo Dawkins, that they're cool and everything is good. And then Uncle Howdy, comes out, and then he tells Angelo Dawkins that Montez Ford is not listening to what he's saying, and then Montez Ford comes and grabs Uncle Howdy, you know, um, and he tells him what is he talking about, and kind of mind his business and stuff. Um, and then the Street Profits get jumped and they get hit with a sledgehammer and get laid out and stuff. So, man, SmackDown tonight was crazy. But anyway, you get R-Truth saying, with the ESPN, and he has some merch and everything with the WrestlePalooza and stuff on it. And man, Angel and Garcia, they come out and ask him what he's doing and stuff like that. And then R-Truth says that he's a tech guy and he's an appologist, and he's going to show everybody on how to get the ESPN app, to watch WrestlePalooza. And then he says he's taking a Zoom class to microwave the hotspot, so he can get it in if cable goes out, or to get if you don't have cable, that you can get it through the hotspot, through your microwave. Our truth is such a trip. But anyway, we get our second match, which is Faction. They come out to the ring, and as they're in the ring, then here comes Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They attack him, they destroy him and stuff. And then Paul Heyman, you know, um, he comes in and says that Fraxiom reminds them of the Usos and stuff like that, and he starts talking about the Usos and stuff like that. And then you got the Usos coming up. Well, as they're talking, you have the Usos that come up and everything, and they're already at where WrestlePalooza is going to be at and stuff. And so, they're telling Paul Heyman, that, they're ready for them and stuff. And so when the time comes tomorrow, it's going to be on. And then at that time, Fraxiom gets themselves together. Then they jump on um, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and Nick Aldis comes out and he makes the match for Fraxiom versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And as you know, the match was pretty good. And I mean, it was okay. You knew that, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed was going to win the match. And at the ultimate end, that's who wins the match. Then we get Nia Jax that comes out, and she calls Toledo, the people in Toledo, she basically calls them delusional. Oh, man. But she's basically saying that she's the alpha woman in the back, and nobody in the back, is better than her. Not even Tiffany Stratton, or even Jade Cargill. And she's saying about Jade that if she could trade places with anybody, she would trade with Jade Cargill because Jade Cargill has the look, because her muscular status, and then Jade Cargill actually looks like a superhero, really, in some of her outfits that she comes out in and stuff. She is really the Storm, and I think she took a lot of that from the Storm and X Men. But anyway, but then she says that if Jade Cargill could trade, it would be with her, because of the ring ability um, that Nia has and stuff. So actually, Nia is saying that Jade Cargill has no ring ability and she's not good in the ring. And I mean, a lot of people have always said that, but I think Jade Cargill, she's coming along and she's doing pretty decent, you know. in the ring. I give her props. You know, but anyway, she continues saying that Jay looks good until she has to get into the ring, as I said before. Then she gets annihilated. That she will annihilate her and Tiffany and stuff. So Tiffany Stratus comes out and everything, and then Tiffany says whatever she says, always Tiffany time, tick tock, Tiffany that time, and all this other stuff. Tiffany's really not good on the mic. And then Jade comes out. She attacks a couple of his officials. She heads to the ring. Some more officials, they come out and then they stop her and stuff. And then Nick Aldis does the most craziest thing. He says they want to have a match. They're going to have the match, and it's going to be a triple threat match, not for WrestlePalooza, but for next week's SmackDown. Why didn't they just not add the match to the to the card for WrestlePalooza instead of having 5 matches for WrestlePalooza? They could have had a 6th one. They could have added that on and stuff, but they didn't. And then we have Carmelo Hayes and Sami Zayn fighting for the U.S. title and stuff. And the Miz is all fired up, happy, and everything. And the Miz is saying stuff, because we know Carmelo Hayes is good, and he's saying that if Carmelo Hayes wants to get further, in as far as his career is, as far as in the WWE, that he has to listen to him, you know, because the Miz feels that if Carmelo Hayes listens to him, he'll be the one to take him, to the world title. But we all know the Miz, and sooner or later he's going to do something and turn on Carmelo Hayes. I can almost see it. I can see it, and almost can promise that. In the match with Carmelo Hayes and Sami Zayn is good. Sami Zayn, he may be up there in age and everything, but Sami Zayn is pretty damn good still in the ring and stuff. But then ultimately it ends, with the Blue Thunder Bomb. I thought he might have would get him with the Halula kick, but he pinned him with the Blue Thunder Bomb and retains its U.S. title. Then you got Nick Aldis backstage. He's talking to one of the Pretty Deadlies, and Damian Priest comes in, saying, "Where's Aleister Black?" Looking for Aleister Black, and he's talking about, you know, about the matches and the Aleister Black and how Aleister Black screwed him and stuff like that, and how he was screwed. And, the same Damian Priest bull crap with Aleister Black. And I thought that crap was over, you know, the last time they, were in the ring. But here we go again with the same thing with these two and stuff. And then he puts Pretty Deadly through the wall. I can't think of his name right now. And then he asks Nick Aldis that he wants, Aleister Black. And then we get this John Cena and Brock Lesnar film promo, dating back their history, you know, um, going back 15 years and stuff, when John Cena, beat Brock Lesnar in 2012 at Extreme Rules. And then they kicked it in when Brock Lesnar destroyed, he destroyed John Cena at SummerSlam. He destroyed John Cena. John Cena went through, I think, 4 or 5 F-bombs and stuff. And then we get this Solo Sokoa, talking about Tungaloa, still having loyalty with him and stuff, and that everybody else has left him, and you know, um, and his family is gone, and so it's just him and Tungaloa and stuff, and he's telling Tungaloa that if he stays loyal to him, that he would make sure that he would down the road get a title. Okay. And then we have the contract signing between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. And then Cody Rhodes is telling Drew McIntyre, 15 years ago they had, they were tag team champions and stuff, and a lot's changed, you know, through that and through them and stuff like that, and basically, you know, it, basically it's the same thing, you know. And then Drew hits him with a headbutt. He goes out and he tries to. Then he attacks and he beats up. Cody Rhodes for a little bit. Slams him on the announcer's table. Then Cody goes down and it looks like Drew McIntyre was about to put his whole head again through the announcer table. But this time, Drew held back and said that he wasn't going to do it. You know, now then, but he'll save it all for WrestlePalooza. And at that time, Cody had gathered himself, came and he jumps on Drew McIntyre, and then he starts whooping on Drew McIntyre and everything. And then all the officials and everybody come down, and they basically break it up and stuff like that. But at this time, I'm telling you, if we get what we got today and Monday, man, WrestlePalooza is gonna suck. I don't think they're gonna get a lot of people out. I see and read that there's a lot of people that won't get the app. Some of them are talking about getting the VPN to watch it, and it's crazy, man. They really, really WWE really and Triple H really, really blew this one, along with TKO. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I got it. I got it cheap. It didn't cost me really a whole lot because I added it on with my Disney Plus, and it really wasn't that much. I think maybe it was $11, if that. I mean, $11 with the taxes because it was like $7 or $8, and then with the taxes, it all come up to 44 and some change. But anyway, God bless. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. Um, this is going to be crazy. But anyway, deuces, God bless. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.